We were just, introducing ourselves earlier, saying that Tina, we are the archive, Amabali Wethu.
Okay. The newly established JBV feminist activist organization that is interested in documenting and archiving gender-based violence experiences in South Africa through curatorial and creative forms and mediums, one of which is podcast, video, and I guess the crux of it is to...
I guess our focus is awareness, navigation and recovery, because we understand that we live in a patriarchal system and that, we can't break it by ourselves, but we can definitely share, avenues of navigation. How do we move through a gendered system that we don't have the tools yet to completely, kind of... dissolve. Yeah.
Yes. So we believe like our stories and experiences can be those tools to inform healing and recovery in our society.
Which is why for us it was like really important because we didn't really know much about the Vavasati festival before we met Katty. So when Katty told us about it, we were so excited to come and actually be in a space where that kind of environment is already kind of established, and it's something that is a critical topic in more spaces than the spaces that we frequent, and we're really excited to be here. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, maybe we'll just start is it recording?
It's been recording.
Sorry. Maybe we'll just, I guess, please introduce yourselves to our audience and anyone who might watch and listen to this interview.
Okay, my name is Kgaogelo Tshabalala, known around Pretoria artist as Misskay. I'm an artist, I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm a performer, a coordinator, curator now, as administrator, and and a poet. Basically in a nutshell, that's me.
Well, my name is Mamela Nyamza. I'm the deputy artistic director of the South African State Theatre and curating most of the festivals. Not most, some of the festivals at the South African State Theatre, Vavasati, Dance Umbrella Africa, and now the theatre activism, 16 days of activism.
Coming up.
Oh, exciting. 16 days of street art. So I love street art activism because those days are important. So only 16 days. We need 365 days. And also being here, you end up as an artist doing administrative works. And I'm also me as a dancer, choreographer, theatre maker, director, curator. So I've got many hats, mother, artist, lesbian, all of that. Different hats. And this is why it makes us, as women, I feel like we multitask. And we don't understand that we don't have only issues at work, we also have own home issues. That's us.
We have issues on the street.
Naturals by nature. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you for that. I think in our research, when we were trying to figure out more about Vavasati, what we realized is that online there's very little information, and it's actually so sad to have a festival that's been running for, I think, 7 years? 7 years, and so little information about it. Even trying to look through, what were the shows that were shown before. It's tough to kind of get a grasp of it unless you get a copy of the program, and even then, when the first time I looked, the State Theatre website was down, so it's like also limited avenues to information like that. So we were very curious to hear more about the history of this festival, you guys, and the legacy, of the festival, if you know about that, and also like how has it moved from, maybe the first season to here, or even how has it moved from the beginning of these stages of you guys putting this season together up until this point,
I think for me personally, because I just came into curated this year, the 7th year, and the main reason I agreed to do it after I had a conversation with Mamela, is that the first one I remember was a performer with the first Vavasati when it launched, and I had one audience member. I had to perform for one person, and that was heartbreaking. That was very painful. It did not make sense. An art institution so huge, like it was like this. You know how quiet it is, yet it's a festival running, and that bothered me. That ate me up, and I didn't understand why can't there be women running such festivals, they will know what to do.
Yes.
And I continue with my career and stuff, and then she came, and somehow we met and we conversed, and when she brought me on board, I was excited because then I knew what I would love for this interview, for this festival to do, because I've been in the first one as just a performer, and that was just terrible. And throughout the years, nobody really knows about Vavasati until now. Only now people are starting to be aware that this is actually an international festival. It's not just a festival that's just passing by, and I think it shows that we need more women like Mamela and Nyamza in theaters, in art institutions and stuff like that, who will fight for other women creators, who will fight for platforms like this to stand out, to be there, to be known, to be seen, as much as any other platform that is run by a man or mentored by a man is taken more seriously, like any other festival that is exactly for me.
Well, I mean, coming to the South African State Theatre as a deputy, when my boss, artistic director, Mr. Sekhabe, asked me to curate it, I was excited. I felt like, wow, this is my terrain. You know, right now I'm going to be really tapping into women's issues, like hardcore, look straight to the core. So I did my research about it, and I realized there's very little information online. And then the other research was actually talking to my colleagues and asking them past programs, brochures. Also, there's very minimal information, in terms of what is there. And then the only one that I've noticed was the one that was curated by Napo Mashiane, which was 2017, I think. Which I think, as a woman of her caliber, she actually also did something, because there's a bit of that online. You realize that there was a woman who actually wanted to do something there. But then again, it depends also where we're at and who's guiding us and how. And then now 2019, here I am, and also experiences of traveling around and actually having seen how to run festivals. And I realize there are things that need to be done before even curating the festival. Let's actually go back to how these women were curated. And I realized that, okay, let me see their history with this festival. There's a circle of the same women doing the same festival. So for me, I thought, okay, you know what, let's go back to, that's when I met Kgaogelo and said, hey, are you interested in actually coming on board? And let's actually do a showcase where we ask women to come and show us their work. Because also, I am not from Pretoria by birth. I'm from Cape Town. So it was also a way of bringing an outside exterior eye than my eye, because I'm not a know-it-all woman. I'm just here to learn too, and you never stop learning until you can't. So Kgaogelo was the best kind of a partner in terms of interrogating the scenario in Pretoria. She's from Pretoria, remember? So in a way, it was good to invite an exterior, someone from outside. And then from that, I realized that, you know what, I've actually seen her around, and I realized that she's been incubated from this theatre. So she knows a lot inside here. She's not a stranger here. And as I didn't even know that she was actually here from the first edition. So that actually kind of brought us together. I feel like it was meant to be, because there's something painful when you have one audience. I've also once experienced that in Cape Town a long time ago, and I cried, I remember. I cried. I cried saying this would never happen. But anyway, we're not there. But anyway, coming back to this, we curated this we did a showcase. From that showcase, we kind of chose women, and then from that I said, hey, are you interested in actually co-curating this with me? How can I leave her if from the beginning she was there with me curating? So we were both curating from there. That was us curating. And it was good for me as I'm not going to say too old, but yes, I'm old. Yes, I'm old. to actually uplift young women. So Kgaogelo was one of those women where I felt like, you know what, let's do this. This is about empowering each other. And that's one thing that is missing in these institutions, women supporting each other. Because there's so much divide and rule and divide, with patriarchal using their powers to divide us. So it was also good to bring someone from outside and within the inside women as well, like the Kias, the Tshiamos from the State Theatre, who actually, they have helped in actually making it possible. You know, without them, there's no us. And there's also Litabo, even the whole department. But in terms of other, making it more visible, I had to go through how to make it bigger, because this is about women. Who am I to come and curate a women's festival and just keep it under the carpet? I started.
You don't want to be a voice. You want to have the voice.
Because when you are inside here, it's not you anymore. You are the masses.
Yeah.
You are the women actually out there. Those women are waiting for you to do something inside. So who are you to come into this institution and keep quiet? Because also you know the challenges that are faced by women outside.
Yes.
And all those challenges were like, okay, I know what's happening. I know women need platforms. I know women need to be seen. I know they need to be recognized for their art. So we we did a media launch.
Okay.
Open a new page, which is growing slowly but steadily, step by step, is growing.
Thanks to
so
Katty.
all those things were like part of making it known, part of making it visible, and also a media launch helps when you're actually running a festival. We have to invite the media and say this is what is happening, and that's how it got spread out in a way.
But speaking about, sorry to cut you, Mamela, but what are some of the challenges? Because you speak about all these challenges that you've gone through and that you've also read about when you had to come on board as a curator, right? But what are those challenges that you've gone through as Black women in the space? Just putting this festival in its 7th year, pulling it off. Like, I'd really like to know, like, what are some of the things you actually have to deal with?
I mean, challenges will be funding, first of all. You know, I mean, funding is the main thing. It's one of the biggest challenges that we've actually come across in terms of how do we bring many women with this amount of money that we have. You know, so we have to be careful how we're gonna slice that cake because we all need a slice of cake. You know, so it was a matter of like, you know what? Let's use it as a platform for women. We not even want to say it's a payment, performance art, performance fees or something. It was more of a stipend, and also this stipend is not something that you can spread it amongst her, because there are people who are 9 on stage, but the amount that we're giving them, it's not enough. I'm gonna be honest, it is not enough. And speaking as an artist and an administrator inside, I know that there's many things that could be done better, but by doing this first, now we are saying we need more money, we need more funding, we need for more funding. These women were commissioned to create new works. Basically, the other thing, they were bringing works that were already done. You know, there was not one work that we say this work was commissioned by the Vavasati. No, I'll be lying. No, because there's no funding. So we had to choose works that were already existing, that are already there. Some of them are launching their albums here for the first time. Some are performing here for the first time. So other challenges like there's no many platforms for women. If you look around these institutions, there's only men's works that are actually celebrated, even during Women's Month. You know. So I'm not taking myself out of it. I'm inside now. So I'm always wearing different hats. Yes, I will always do that. I know sometimes it's not good of me to speak of that, but I'm that person who's actually so outspoken. I say it as is because I am an artist after all. I am an artist, speak for the artists, for them, and women, and as an activist. But then sometimes I don't want to be crushed.
You're very passionate. You guys are obviously very passionate about, I mean, what Vavasati, the festival stands for it, and the theme this year is inequality seizing the megaphone. I just want to know, what do you think the role of art is from a personal perspective? I mean, you obviously have to have a passion for this, but in terms of informing the social injustice, such as gender-based violence, right? What role and the potential it has to kind of like healing our society, to informing our society, to re-educating our society about, you know, the kinds of violences that we go through as a society every day. And I guess the role that Vavasati plays in addressing those issues.
I think also when you look at our program, the diversity of it already is touching on that, because there's different stories that are told that touches on issues like that. There's issues also, you see young voices coming out and voicing out stories that no other women were brave enough in the past to actually put such work on stage. And to have, more than anything, I think to have Mamela being involved as SAST in it and being an artist herself is making it quite easy for the creation of the program, because then there's no limitation of no, you can't tell that story. No, you can't tell that story. It's a look, you're a woman, it's your story. Say it the way you want to say it. Tell it the way you want to tell it. Because at the end of the day, it's your story, and it's about time that you be celebrated with your story as it is, because it's healing someone else. And when you talk about that, the other day we had a show by Karen Bester, Till Death Do Us Part. It's about marriage. And after that, there was a Q&A. Department of DAC was here. You could see the healing process starting to beginning. The question that we asked, the engagement from young women asking, so what happened to Kilum 17? And then my boss, my supervisor, already through by just coming to see a 1 hour show. It opened the conversation amongst a whole department. So for me, it means we are achieving one day at a time. We are getting closer to where we want to go as women, to stand and say, I'm more important as much as I'm as important as you are. You are not more important because you have something between your legs that's hanging and I don't have. So sorry, am I not allowed to say?
Nothing but facts.
Yeah, I think that's my...
And also, just to add on what Kgaogelo said, the diversity that is within the festival is actually just shows how diverse we are as women.
Yes.
We are actually present in all artworks. From theater to visual, poetry, dance, exhibitions, installation, music, all of that is actually present. And also just women are tired of actually having men telling their own stories. And this story is coming from women. It makes them feel important. It's like you're saying, gone are the days we want to be second-class citizens. We just want to be artists in our own rights. We also want to have our own signature in our own work. So that's what these women are doing in terms of these works that are curated for the festival. And also just for the audience is actually invited to come see works that are not used, they're not used to those works. Basically, sometimes we undermine how clever the audience is. We always say, oh no, this is going to be too much, there's so much nudity there or there. That you can never say that to artistic works. You must just let the art speak for itself and let the people interpret the art the way they want to interpret it. Everything is open to any interpretation. So that's what the festival is all about. And for me, this has been like, wow. You know, I'm getting excited because I feel like, you know, when you are so passionate about something, and when the people who are trying to tell you what to do, you feel like, can you just leave this because we know what to do. We've got this. We know.
Just give us the money.
Give us
the money.
Give us the money to run this. We've got this. Because if we did not have this, we wouldn't be actually introducing. We're introducing also new spaces. Performing here, it's like a shack here inside. But we're doing in this space here. We are shifting the gaze. How people usually go to the box, the theater. We're taking them outside and actually just shifting people how they think about theater. It's no longer into the box. We are actually opening can of worms. A can of worms is being opened this festival.
But that's exactly how a learning process happens, right? Is that for you to take in, you need to also be able to let go. To allow yourself to not limit yourself and the things that you're thinking about or how you think about things. And I think it's really important that you guys take that so seriously, because also, I mean, for us, it's been something that we've been, you know, playing in our mind all the time. How do we create content that allows people to feel comfortable in opening the interpretation and also opening the space for themselves to receive more information, you know, in a way that is not going to be a confrontation, but rather
an exchange of ideas, exchange of experiences.
You know, and the thing is like with theater, I mean, in my experience, theater is such a, it's like a relationship, you know, you as an audience, you make the space as the performer makes the space. So if you can open yourself to engaging, then it kind of changes even the language of the rehearsed piece, you know, in many ways. And it's so great for there to be a festival like this that facilitates, you know, that in such a wholehearted way, which I think is really great.
Speaking about, like, this goes to what are your future hopes, I guess, for Vavasati after this, like this round of it, in terms of taking it to the people. I mean, there are those also, you know, limitations of it being somewhat inaccessible. Again, you know, it plays into funding, it plays into also how many people also know about the festival, so PR. But what are because again, the shows, the work that is showcased throughout the festival, I think is very important, but it shouldn't be confined to just the State Theatre, or perhaps even if it is, but how do we bring people in?
Yeah, how do we make this place?
I mean, we've already having talks about that. The other day we were talking about how it would be nice if some of the works are actually performing in townships where they come from, where we know Vavasati belongs to State Theatre, but it's spread out. You know how Grahamstown is. There's a performance there. There's a performance there. So, but obviously it taps into funding. So this is where we're saying we need more money.
Yes, we need all
for the
of the
festival
resources.
to be bigger. I think my hope is for it to not go down. If I'm not here, of course, because we don't know the future for next year. So moving forward, I would really love for whoever will continue with the festival curation of it to carry on from where we at. We just started a base, a foundation. It can go much bigger than what it is now. I mean, there's alternative spaces. There's station theatre here. There's TX theatre. If we involve all these spaces together, and somehow the show don't have to really be here.
It can even be a 365 show festival.
But obviously, it taps onto funding. Money.
I mean, talking about 365 days, some women are even asking, I mean, we've got these spaces that are actually not used all the time. It would be great to have also these women's Sunday chills, or you know, because also this new space here can also be utilized, of course, you know, if the theaters are busy. So there's other alternatives now. I mean, from here, the festival now must just fly. It must just fly.
I think one thing this festival has shown me is that, like, Black women are creative, Black women are it.
Of course.
We are just not given the space.
Yeah, and the resources.
And the resources.
All I'm saying is if they don't give us, we must take it.
I mean, the challenges we know from outside is the space. Some artists will even say, Sissy, we just need space.
Yes.
So you understand how
platform
important a platform is, you know, because it's needed. And from here now, we just need to look out for that funding. Maybe you can help us by actually putting it out there and saying, there's this festival happening at the South African State Theatre. These women are doing an amazing job and they need funding. By doing that fund, these women will be able to actually now maintain themselves and sustain themselves in terms of their artistic works, because they need to sustain themselves. We cannot just allow them to perform Vavasati and then they close their works and put them in a suitcase.
And then that's it.
They want to continue. They must continue. We're even talking about actually taking some few of these women and maybe apply for the National Arts Festival. Maybe take some of the works and put them on the main at the South African State Theatre and their own as a season. So there's also those growth possibilities, you know.
But it's having to go through all the bureaucracy. That's the hardest.
Exactly.
But it is important to try and find avenues of sustainability.
Well, I mean, that is why also
you know,
there's women like us in this institution to actually see those gaps.
So
we know those gaps are existing. So we need to actually
find
ways to make these women have platforms.
I think you guys have just kind of like answered all of our questions at the same time, you know. So I'm just sitting here, you know, just relishing in the glory and the information. But yeah, I think something that we were also very curious about is that, you know, just South Africa is still a very patriarchal country in many ways, you know. Yes, you know, homosexuality is decriminalized and all of these things, but at the end of the day, patriarchy is still, you know, the foot that is, you know, putting the force behind the country. And for us, we've been experiencing a lot of gatekeeping, you know, in our own, you know, individual capacities and as a collective, as an organization, you know. Just even finding when it comes to money, but sometimes it's not even about money. Sometimes it's about people taking the time to come and listen, to engage, and to actually, you know, move with us and you know, engage with us. And I think for us, like, we're also curious with regards to, like, you know, because gatekeeping is such a critical issue, and sometimes we hold back on talking about it because it's sensitive, but sometimes holding back is the same thing that perpetuates it, you know. And we're just curious in terms of gatekeeping, how have you guys, I guess, challenged it, or how have you pushed past it? How have you guys managed to get to this point now where, you know, Vavasati is at this level, even given the fact that patriarchy Sitya, it's out here trying to pull out our spine one, piece at a time.
I think it's a journey. It's a war zone. I think that on its own, it's just a war that we are still constantly fighting it. I don't think we've achieved it yet. We're just showing that it is possible for us to fight it.
Yes.
And also, obviously being queer women also, that's an addition to it, because then I will just share a personal story. I'll not mention names. Where I worked for a company for quite a while, and my work was okay, and I couldn't move to the next level because I'm lesbian. You understand? So there's issues like that, and you don't know how to deal with them. You don't know how to where to go,
to report,
how to
get
even,
justice.
of course, to deal with it. So I think what, for lack of a better word, what she did, what we did, we just said to fuck you, you know what I mean? And said being a queer woman doesn't mean I can't. I'm as talented as this man. I'm as talented as this other woman. That's just because I don't have a weave or I'm not. It doesn't mean you have to treat me like I'm less of a woman. She was saying that being strong, being whatever, doesn't mean I'm not a woman anymore. I'm still a woman, and I still deserve the respect that you give the other woman next to me, because she can do what I can do for you does not mean I am less important, does not mean I'm not qualified enough to do the work, does not mean I'm incapable of doing it. Probably I'm more capable than her, but that's not the point. You understand? So there's that. And remember, patriarchy wins because there's women who are supporting it. So it's not only the men who are just perpetuating it. There's women who are supporting it, and therefore making it double as hard
for women,
for other women to actually achieve and break these doors. Because if Yolanda is here busy with Tebo and perpetuating this, then
who are
Tebo would
you
disregard me.
there?
So I think you are just being dramatic. You know what I mean? Here she is. She's fine with the situation. So therefore it's still a fight. It's still it's still a big fight. For the first time in my career, I'm not gonna lie, where I've worked a project comfortably. Because I'm working with another woman who has the same vision, who has the same passion, who does not care what you look like, what you understand, who you sleep with. Like it's irrelevant right now. So for me, it's a beautiful beginning for even the young ones, the other ones that are coming. I'm not as old. I'm still very young. I'm just saying younger than me. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's a painful thing, because I've never seen any queer woman do something like that. I don't have a reference of that. I don't have a reference of a strong woman leading a festival in a theater, leading a program, and passionately. And here I am, and confidently, and I'm very proud, and don't care, and showing that it is possible. It is not about anything else but the work. But that's a war that will not end anytime soon. But we are ready for it.
I mean, patriarchal is hard. That just being surrounded by it is very hard. I think I'm getting emotional by it now because it's such a how can I put it? I think as women sometimes I'm so comfortable with us speaking because we are all women. If you were like 3 men with me, I wouldn't be as comfortable as I am right now. But you are giving me the comfort of like saying, wow, I'm a woman, I can speak, I can say whatever I want to say.
Okay.
But when I'm surrounded by men, it is hard. Because already you feel like there's forces, you know? So this is something that we deal with every day as also women in my positions, because we constantly trying to voice out what we want to voice out. And as outspoken and as queer as we are and as women as we are, we sometimes go like, it's possible. It can happen. You understand? But then some people will like always treat us as if we don't have hearts. We can be neglected because, oh no, Mamela was strong, was. God, Mamela actually is a woman. She's fragile. She also needs to just cry and let it go, because I'm a human being. When it's even more harder when you bring other women to fight me. It's more painful. It's one of the most painful things. And because I think to do it.
Very painful. The depth of it is that because patriarchy has been so embedded in a lot of us and even women, that like what she's saying, that you see it. If you're a male leader, the respect you will get is completely different. By not even doing anything.
Just by walking to that
Do you
space.
understand? But if Kgaogelo walks in and say, can I please have 1, 2, 3?
Balo.
So it just shows you how deep it is, without even big actions, just small things, the way people even treat you, the way, because it's evident. I mean, we work with men, so you can. I mean, we're not stupid. I can see how you treat him more than you treat me, and yet we are in the same position with this guy, and yet we are. I'm not sure if I'm making sense, but. So it's a very painful struggle. I think it's part of the struggle.
It's just tiring.
It is. It's but if we give up on it, who's gonna fight?
Yeah.
It is sad when women are actually supporting it.
Yes.
It is sad. It's one of the most saddest things. They don't even know that you are trying to empower them. Instead, they are fighting you. And we end up being isolated. And the next thing they call you a BITCH. And you are not. You are just trying to make things right. You are just trying to work with people. You understand? So it's really hard. I mean, I know sometimes when I'm emotional, I speak my heart because I'm an artist after all, and we don't hide things. And right now, my passion is for that, for artists, for work, for the love that I do, for the passion that I have. Because we don't do things just in the mind.
Yes.
We do things from here. You know, no. We do things from here. It comes from the womb, huh? That's why we are woman. So it comes from the womb, from inside. It's not just like, oh yeah, it's not. We don't have the power of love. We have the love of power. We have the power of love, not the love of power.
Yes.
We have the power of love, not the love of power. We are real. We are not greedy. Some people sometimes will ask themselves, is it about money now or is it about passion?
What is it?
You know,
about?
what is it? Is it still artistic work now? Is it just you being greedy? So there's many things that one can ask, and it's like, what is going on? Because transformation is also needed.
Of course.
Shift is also needed. Be humble. You will never be fresh forever.
At the end of the day,
You will never be fresh forever. You understand? And that is why you get an apple and it can be sold like orange, and then we need a new apple, a fresh one, green. No, we need a fresh apple.
In fact, we need the whole tree.
Yes,
We need to water
to actually nurture from the beginning.
Yes.
So this is also missing. But then sometimes people think there are gods and goddesses. Yeah. We are running government institutions. We are not individuals running these places. We are public servants.
Yes.
We are using taxpayers' money. This is not us. We need to serve the people. And right now is Vavasati
Yes.
doing that.
Definitely.
Yes.
when she says, then you'll be called a bitch, she reminds me when I was first year at TUT. Our movement teacher, Janine Lewis, I love her, professor now. She used first class. She's like, my name is Janine Lewis and I'm a bitch. And I will never forget that. And a lot of people used to talk about her like a bitch, but she was one strong woman that I remember we had a one-on-one at some point, and she said, look, if you are called a bitch, it's a good thing because you're making people uncomfortable.
Yes, you're standing
because
up
as
for
a
yourself.
woman, there's no any other way to call you but to call you negatively. So embrace it. And I think I always tell her it's fine. Let them hate you. You scare them. You show what needs to be done. And when a person is making you uncomfortable, of course, we are quick to name them bitch. We are quick to throw stones in them.
Instead of taking in
responsibility
what they are
as well.
doing in the space and learning from this from the person. Oh, it's so exhausting. It is so exhausting. I just feel like I've been carrying a bit of your burden. It's like,
You know what drives us is the passion, is the love.
Yeah.
You know, because also we are spiritual people. Right?
You can't just sit by
We are
us in one
spiritual
shit.
people. We are guided. We are there, and we are still surviving. And we're still standing. We pray every day. We pray in offices. We close the door and pray. You know, it's like you do it.
Because you need to release.
Yes.
It gets too much. It gets to a point where it's too much, and you need that moment of release and go back.
And I think today was that day for me. Sometimes you hold it too much to a point where you go like, shit, I'm human.
Yeah.
I am human.
Why must I?
Why must I just actually put it inside? Then I'll get sick.
Yeah.
Then I cough it out.
Yeah. And also it's important for us, to facilitate that space
I think this
of
was my
peace
therapy
for each
session
other.
today.
Well, we're so glad.
I think this was my therapy session. Because I actually
really glad we could provide that space.
I work today, but I came back just for this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming back for us. Like, we really appreciate this conversation, and we really appreciate your time and your efforts. It's been just a few shows that we've watched so far.
We are so moved. We are so moved.
It's like already just in the ways that we think about things. So we feel so blessed.
Izinto thulamdana wenukhalela thulamdana wenukhalela thulamdana wenukhalela sizojikichizi
Ziyachika.
Yes.
In these hands.
It's a new era. A new era is being born.
Yes.
It is being born. I believe it. My intuition tells me that
Yes, I
something's being
can feel
born.
it. Yeah.
And it will come out.
No, it will.
And we are going to be free as women.
Yeah.
We're going to do
about
it.
time.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Well,
Sometimes we just come to places because it's a calling.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's absolutely okay.
No, that
It's really much needed.
and they have to change.
very much.
This is how there's no going back. There's
We're
only
trying
forward.
though. We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah.
I think you guys are doing more than trying.
You guys are doing
And
a
so
lot of work.
thank you very much for your time.
We're doing it for you guys.
Yes.
We're doing it for you guys, for the next generation. It's not for us. We carry like many people, not us. It's not Mamela, it's not Kgaogelo. It's you guys. It's for the youth, for the coming generations to come.
I'm part of you.
It's happening.
While being in the mid-40s, I can say that.
Yes.
Yes.
If forever young. Hello.
Yeah, the art keeps me young.
Yes.
Because I can cry, I can let it out, and then I can smile again within one day. Within a few minutes, I can do that. Because I'm an artist.
Yes.
I'm a performer. Yeah, I'm performing now.
Mamela, oh my God.
I think this is a very much needed spiritual release.
Yes, with women. Yeah,
She's lovely.
Yeah, it's okay. I feel good. Now I need it. I feel good. Now I need it.
Well then, this is the end of our podcast.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
We are honored, and I think we really just wish the best for Vavasati. We will do our very best to continue to
Spread it
support
out. Spread it out.
Definitely.
Please spread out the word.
Definitely.
That's all we want.
the
We want
intention.
full houses here.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
is the intention.
And it's not bad from one.
To
And we have not
a
seen
whole
anything
lineup.
about Vavasati. So in a way, this is a rebirth. And I'm saying it's a new dawn. This is a new dawn.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah? It's a rebirth.
Yeah.
This is a cheek, isn't it? It's a
cheek.
new dawn.
Such.
That's it. Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Alright,
Thank you.
to the shows now.
Oh, to smoking first. Hey, thanks, Kelly. Oh, wow. Hey, can I give both of you?
Yes, please, man.